All right, guys, today I'm going to do something I haven't done in quite a while. I'm going to take just a small handful of quotes, I'm going to give them to you and shed some light on what I think of when I read these. Now, I have a multitude of books on quotes, and I always have a yellow highlighter by me to highlight either the author or the quotation itself so that I can speedily find these things when I go back through my books and look again. So, these are things that I think are worth remembering and turning over in your mind as you go throughout the day. And the good thing about quotations is it gets you into the mind of another individual and hopefully gives you a different perspective or an angle to approach something from. It helps us to aspire to a higher intellectual plane, or at least a different one, right? So I'm hoping that this will mean something to you and give you something that will allow you to have some kind of reign or control over how you process things throughout the day. Now, if you watch to the end of this video, you're going to find out what I'm using in my beer today, so stay tuned for that. But let me get on with the very first quote of today. It is from G.K. Chesterton. He said, "I am not absent-minded. It is the presence of mind that makes me unaware of everything else." I do believe it does help to detach yourself mentally. You have to unplug from the rest of the world that's going on around you sometimes. And that's kind of the whole purpose of meditation, right? But it's important to do this on a regular basis. It's almost like a discipline you need to have. Because if you allow yourself to absorb everything that the world is throwing at you, it'll drive you crazy. And chances are you already know all about this. So it doesn't make you absent-minded because you choose not to think about something. It makes you selective. It makes you, well, it gives you some semblance of power and reign over your life. Because if you can't control this up here, you certainly can't control anything out here. Okay? So let's move on to the next one. The next one's by Robert F. Kennedy. He said, "What is dangerous about extremists is not that they are extreme, but that they are intolerant. The evil is not what they say about their cause, but what they say about their opponents." This is so relative to today, isn't it? So relative today. In fact, we love to throw the words tolerant and intolerant around, don't we? And it seems like those who love to preach tolerance are the most intolerant ones. And I think what Kennedy said here was very apropos. It's not what's dangerous about extremists is not that they're extreme, because let's be real here. I guarantee you that anybody who holds an opposing viewpoint to yours thinks that you're extreme, even though you may not be. And you may think that of them likewise. So really, extremism is relative. Now, we can certainly draw very clear boundaries on what people do in the name of extremism, if it's violent, if it's harmful. But when it comes to what people believe and what they say, I really do believe they should be able to do that. I think that people should be able to express themselves as long as this is not hurting other people, as long as it's not being forced on someone else. And I think that it's important to keep the attitude of tolerance and intolerance in check. And so let's remember that. Let's remember that it's not that they're extreme, but that they're intolerant. The evil is not what they say about their cause, but what they say about their opponents. And people, when all too often, when we don't agree with others, we have the harshest, sharpest things to say, and don't give ourselves time to think about the freedom that they have to express themselves as we do likewise. So anyway, moving on. Here's one by Benjamin Franklin I really like that stuck out to me today. He said, "You can bear your own faults, and why not a fault in your wife?" And now this really could apply to either spouse, right? Really could. But it's true. It's something to really ponder. We can't get too crazy with it, but on a day-to-day regular, you got to consider how hard am I being on my spouse? How hard am I being on the person I'm in a relationship with? How tolerant am I of myself, but intolerant of them? So easy to see the lines that someone else has crossed, the boundaries that they've broken. But down deep in your heart, you've broken plenty of your own. You've violated yourself. But if you've done that, why can't they? Now, I mean, obviously, you've got to have a healthy balance in there somewhere. But this is just something that you have to kind of keep in check, also. So you can bear your own faults. Why not a fault in your wife? Consider that next time she rubs you the wrong way. All right, here's another one by T.S. Eliot. I really like this one a lot. People exercise an unconscious selection in being influenced. That is rich. And the reason why I say that is because too many people are willing to shift the blame to people that they consider an influence. It could be anybody. I'm not talking about people on YouTube. I'm talking about everyday normal people that enter someone's life, that enter someone's sphere, their orbit, and someone, the you may feel a rub off. You may feel somewhat inspired by something they said or did, and here's where I see it a lot is people will watch television shows and they'll watch the agenda being driven, and they'll see the attitudes that are displayed, and they think, I'm going to try that for myself. When in reality, those things don't go over well. All they do is create skirmishes and divisions. And so you have to be careful of where you choose to get your reality from. You know, I think that's a very wise thing to remember. Choose where you get your influence and your reality from, because people are always trying to bend and shape and reshape their existence and their ability to survive in this world. In fact, that's oftentimes a problem. Too many times, the problem with people is that not they're not just trying to be fully human. They're simply trying to survive. When people are in strictly a survival mode, they do and say and act in ways that are really not so human, or maybe they're just human in all the worst ways. So people are people do exercise an unconscious selection. Be very careful who you select to have in your life, that you look up to, because inevitably you will become more like them. You know, um, we tell our kids this a lot. It's helpful to remember to ourselves. Now, the last quote I have for you here is one by George Eliot. He says, "There is nothing will kill a man," and that's literally how he wrote it. "There is nothing will kill a man so soon as having nobody to find fault with but himself." Yeah, that I'm sure is excruciating for, I was going to say some people, but probably for all of us, according to his quote here. And I'd have to say that's true. It's next time you point the finger at someone else and want to find fault, whether it's your wife or your husband or boyfriend or girlfriend, whoever you're in a relationship with, whoever happens to be watching this, I guess they would know. But next, before you point the finger next time and point blame, um, look at yourself. Are you doing it because you're just simply trying to avoid facing something within you that you don't want to deal with? Or is it really them? You know, I think it's very hard to admit fault. It's very hard to take responsibility, but it's also very healthy to do that. And I can't say that it feels good, but I do think it's necessary. There's nothing that will kill a man so soon as having nobody to find fault with but himself. All right, guys, I hope that helped. I hope that's giving you something to ruminate over today. And give me your thoughts below. Make sure you go down in the comment section and tell me what you're thinking. Share a quote that you like, and maybe I'll feature it in an upcoming video. Now, if you want to know what I have in my beard today, I've been talking about Husky Beard on and off, seems like a little more regularly than usual, because I've ordered some new stuff. I'm going to be making some videos on a lot of the beard stash that I've accumulated over the holidays. But one of them for sure is I placed an order and got some new beard butter. Well, they call it beard cream, but it's beard butter from Husky Beard, and beard oil. This particular uh, scent is Midnight Charmer. Oh, let me tell you something about this. This is so nice. You need to get some for yourself. And so, Midnight Charmer is the scent profiles sweet tobacco and melon. Just picture that. I held it up to my wife's nose last night, and she said this is probably the most distinct and unique fragrance I've smelled in all of your beard products. She likes, I mean, she likes all of them, but that's her words that she used for this Midnight Charmer. She loved it a lot. She goes, "It smells sweet. It smells like I could eat it." So yeah, I guess I'll be wearing that more often. But yeah, I applied the beard oil first this morning, and then I put the beard butter in sometime afterwards, and it's got a nice hold to it. You know, beard cream is mainly like a conditioner. It keeps your beard soft and smelling nice all day long. So make sure you see the description below. I'll show you a way you can save some money. I think it's like 10 or 15%. Use my code that I provide down there. Just follow the link, and you'll be all set up. All right, guys. So I've gone over a little over 10 minutes here, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's meant something to you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Be wise.